What's up, everyone? My name is Dr. Rizzo, and I'm here with my friend Allison Gonzalez.
Hello.
Hey, that's a nice hello.
Yeah.
Today, this is what we're gonna rock with. We are going to go over, some of the experience that we have with behavior, some of the ways that we've reached kids, but then most importantly, we're gonna shit you something at the end of the episode that you cannot miss, and it's something that you're gonna love, and something that some of you guys need. See you soon. And we're back. Shout out to our two sponsors. One of our sponsors is Covenant Coffee. Have you heard of them?
I have actually.
Yeah. Covenant Coffee, what they specialize in is working with our foster youth. A lot of our foster youth, hey, that's a hard position to be in, to not have parents, or to be in a situation where you can't be with your parents. And a lot of those kids get left out. And there's a lot of problems that come with that. What Covenant Coffee does is they actually employ them.
Oh,
So the kids that age out when they turn 18 and all the services get cut off, what they do is they figure out a way out. How can we employ them, but how can we help them too?
That's cool.
Yeah, shout out to them. And then shout out to Rizzo Psychological and Behavioral Health Services. They're a wonderful sponsor too.
They sure are.
They really put out a lot in society. They really taking care of people right now. They're really showing a lot of love because, there's a lot of grind out there. Behavior's hard.
It's very hard.
What's the hardest part for you?
Ooh,
in your own behavior?
In my own behavior?
Yeah, I want to know about your own behavior.
For me, I think what helps is recognizing it, like, and being self-aware. Because then every time it happens, I'm like, oh man,
that's good.
I did it.
But what's your problem that you need to be self-aware about?
Oh, I don't know. I think everyone else would be about me being controlled. That's what everyone else would say. I don't know about me, but
yeah, I like the impromptu question I gave you.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just playing around. I'm just having some fun. What I want to do first is, as usual, what I like to do is go over a good discussion of what is and who is Allison, what brought her here, and what makes her so special. One of the things that I first want to start with is, Allison, you've chosen a very difficult field to be in. Would you say so?
I think so.
What's the hardest?
Working with kids in general.
Working with kids is hard.
Very hard.
Because they're in a lot of positions that you can't help.
Yeah.
And when they're in pain, it's not like the same as when you see an adult in pain. You see an adult, you're like, you can take care of yourself. You see a kid, it's like you're defenseless. You're stuck in that position. What brought you to the position of wanting to work with kids?
I think I've always had like a heart for working with kids. Like I always want my own kids. Like I always know, like, kids were just, I was passionate about it.
So when you were like in elementary school, were you dreaming of being a teacher?
I don't think I'd be dreaming of being a teacher. I think I always knew I just wanted to work with kids, and then naturally I ended up in the psych world. So I don't. Yeah.
So for you, you've known that you wanted to help people. You figured from what age do you think that you really kind of started seeing those signs?
Ooh, I think I was young. I always like wanted to help people and like do things and like donate to little charities and stuff like that. So I think I always knew I wanted to help, but just influenced.
Why do you think that is? Did your parents? Because I didn't want to help people in charities as a kid. Like, is that something that your parents helped you taught, or is that something that you feel like just was within you? It's almost like a calling.
Both, but definitely my parents. They were always donating to like the church or like different things that they felt were like meaningful, and then just always taught us that you had to give back to everyone else too. You have what you have, but you have to give back. And like the more you give, the more you get too.
That's tight. That's tight.
Yeah.
So you kind of grew up in a good place. Where for you, you had good role models that were teaching you the importance of helping others.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was more of like a modeling too. So that gives you that gives me like a little good prelude to like why you are and why you want to work and do the things you do now.
Yeah.
How was like junior high and high school for you? Was there certain experiences in there that have happened or that occurred that kind of drew you towards this, or even in college?
Maybe not so much like junior high school level. I think when I was like starting college and stuff, I think I started to see, once I started working more in the schools, I started to see like how some kids go home to homes that maybe are not like the best environments. And then from where I grew up was just like, a safe, loving environment
Yeah.
that I started to feel like sad for, and wanting to help them because they didn't,
Yeah.
maybe they don't get the same experiences that I got growing up. So that's kind of where it too led when I started to really realize and get a little bit older.
That's
where I wanted to go.
I think I went through the same experience.
Mhm.
I grew up, and I think for you, what we talk about as a good home, we grew up in 2-parent homes,
Mhm.
right? Describe it. Describe your home.
2-parent homes.
2-parent home.
Same parent for like all my siblings and I.
Same parents for all your siblings and you.
Like the nuclear family, that was just really like my parents did everything we needed to keep us safe. Always loved us and then was always there for us to support us.
So you had parents with strong core values
for sure.
And they were both there.
Mhm.
Financial issues, poverty.
I mean, there were probably times when we were like, they were struggling, but I think we always had what we needed.
So it was definitely like middle class struggles then.
Yeah, middle class struggles.
It was more middle class struggles. It was never to find a new home because you got kicked out of yours.
No.
It was more so like, hey, we got a budget.
Yeah.
We got a budget so we can get good
buy the
presents
Oreos at the store.
Yeah.
Can't have the the Happy Meal.
I think it's good to illustrate that because
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know what typical is.
Yeah.
I don't use the word normal anymore.
Yeah, I
That's
don't either.
Terrible.
I know.
Oh my god. I hate when I hear people say, "Oh yeah, that's not normal," especially like to somebody with autism. It's like,
I've started to learn that a lot. Throughout time.
Yeah, I use typical, and I grew up in the same home that you did, and I think we left one out though.
What?
We left one thing out. Was there any type of spirituality in your home?
Oh yeah, my family my parents were big Catholics, or they still are. So I go to church every Sunday and all that kind of stuff. So
you grew up with strong spiritual parents with strong core values that knew how to manage money.
Yeah.
That's the best way to say it.
That's the best way to
and
wrap it up.
Because of that, how was your life growing up?
From an adult perspective, now I say it was, what I think the best you can ask for.
Yeah.
Now that I see what could be from just different experiences I've had and families I've worked with, it's like, okay, it just humbles you a lot more.
Because what do you see? What kind of homes do you see?
Yeah, a lot of like kids that live in poverty, or they don't know their father or mother, or
Hey, when you say poverty, what does that look like from our perspective? Because we're in the homes. Allison and I have worked together for the last 4 years. We go to the hard places. And we don't shy away from anywhere. If we got to go to Martin Luther King Park, we're going to go to Martin Luther King Park.
Those are the best parts.
Yeah. If we got to go to Delano and do our thing, we're going to go to Delano and do our thing. So that's what I mean by we go to the most impoverished places. Now, what does poverty look like to you?
I always think of that as like they're just trying to survive. Like they're just trying to survive. They're not really thinking about like when's their next trip they're gonna take. That's
a big difference.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the big differences. Like they're just trying to survive, and you go in and you just know it, and then you feel it.
And this is what survival looks like. Let's describe it a little bit. Single parent.
Having to work.
And no support.
No support.
And even if there's support, the support has a lot of trauma.
Yeah.
And is in poverty themselves. Right?
Yeah.
Typically some domestic issues. So not only is it single with little support, but then the spouse that they have is an issue.
Yeah.
Right? So there's domestic issues. Transportation's not good.
Yeah.
Has a hard time getting around. And then their kids have a disability.
Yeah.
That's the poverty I see. The kids on top of all that, the kids yelling and screaming.
Yeah. And their priority is just feeding the kids and putting like stuff on the table, and
that's it.
And getting themselves to work and back.
It's just water, food, and enough money to scrape by. No energy to invest in their kids.
Yeah.
No energy to do some behavior training.
Because I mean, who would? Like who would have?
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
I'm a young parent right now. Well, hold on. Let me rephrase that. I'm a parent with young ones. I'm actually pretty old. I'm 37 and I have a 2 and a 4-year-old. I'm getting ready to have another one though, to me and my wife are putting to work right now. And that is hard. And me and my wife are the same. We're kind of like the same. I'm modeling what my parents gave me.
Yeah, right.
And I have, strong values, income, whatever it may have. And it's still hard.
So yeah.
And me and my brother were talking about the other day. I was like, how do these single moms do it?
Yeah.
And me and him were complaining to each other.
Yeah.
But that's what poverty looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Barely scraping by
Yeah.
to make it to the next day.
Yeah.
Moment to moment.
Yeah.
And we haven't even touched on any of their trauma.
I know.
Right?
I know. It's almost like they have to put all the trauma on the back burner to really like focus on what is like a day-to-day for them.
And when you put trauma on the back burner, what happens?
It just sits there and then it eats and then it grows.
It's poison.
Yeah.
It's like, I would call it worse than cancer.
Yeah, honestly.
We've seen, do you know what the studies say about people who ignore, stress? There's those deep core things that they got to deal with. They ignore those sadness. They don't process it, or they ignore areas that they should change that are stressing them out. Do you know what the research says is about those issues?
What?
It's worse than cancer.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
The research says that it's better. You might as well smoke a pack of cigarettes a day.
Yeah.
And you'll live longer if you smoke a pack of cigarettes a day than do those things.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So, and I think that's where I'm in the same boat as you.
Yeah.
Is I didn't really understand what I had until I got to the field.
Until you get there, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely a humbling experience for sure.
I was in a home the other day and I needed to use the restroom. I always need to use the restroom everywhere, and I'm not shy. If I gotta go, I'm gonna go. And I went to the restroom and there was no window.
Oh.
There was no window. I'm like, and there's some of the floor panels were missing too. I'm like, do I pee in the floor panel or do I pee in the restroom? And there's no windows.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking. I'm like, and what I mean by there's no window, there was a hole.
Oh.
But no window.
Okay.
Just a hole. I was like, oh man, hopefully nobody looks in here. They're gonna see all me and all my glory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's what I think is that poverty.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these people are using restrooms, and imagine how that restroom's gonna be.
Yeah.
This week,
mm-hmm.
115-degree weather.
Yeah. And then it's like you think about it, it's like they don't know any different. They've never like seen any different. They've been exposed to it. So it's almost like, man, like some of the time you just feel like you feel for them because it's like, well, you've never have seen what could be, So how do you know that it's maybe like not typical? Like
you don't.
Yeah.
You don't. And that's why working with their children can be so difficult, because it takes so much training for the whole family.
The whole family, yeah.
It's not just like, hey, let me bring your kid over here to my office.
Mm-hmm.
How about this? Like if there's like a situation, right, where kids getting into tons of trouble at school, they're getting a let's say second grader, hyper kid, tons of trouble in school, throwing chairs around, don't want to pay attention, give you my middle finger, and he goes home and he starts doing that same thing. F you, mom. I don't want to do what you say. You're dumb and ugly, blah, blah, blah. Right?
Yeah.
Parents call me for help. I'm like, Dr. Rizzo's here to the savior. I'm your savior, right?
Oh,
hey, guess
Lord.
what, mom? Come on, go ahead, bring him to my office and just drop him off, your second grader. And let me work with him for an hour a day, once a week, and he'll be healed. What do you think of that statement?
Probably accurate.
No.
Just
She
kidding.
has a lot of faith in me.
Yeah.
She has a lot of faith in me.
No, but it takes you can't change any on the school or another environment from outside the home can only change so much. And like I always say, like at least 85% of a change and difference in a kid is going to come from the house.
Yeah.
At least 85.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you worked in any cases where you poured into them, you did all you could, and the parents didn't try, so you didn't see any progress? Or not try, the parents didn't do their part?
I think we see that a lot in schools, because when the school you can do so much, and then like they said, they go home, and what they see and do at home, it's a huge factor of what they're going to come to school with, and then we can work on all those things. But if we don't have parent support, then what changes really? The kid's not going to feel motivated to change.
And it doesn't make sense to me sometimes, but it does,
Mhm.
right? When you think about it, how long is a kid in school? Second grader, third grader,
Like 7 hours a day.
7, 8 hours a day, not including after school programs,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So how long are they actually with their parents?
The other, I'm like the
Like
other
3 to 5,
7 hours.
right? Like
Yeah.
depending on the day, depending on the kid, depending on the age, it's like another
Yeah.
about 5, right?
Mhm. And in that time, it's routines of what's going on in the home life, you know,
A routine or
or
non-routine,
non-routine, yeah, or no parent in the house and by themselves, or parents with other siblings, you know, taking care of other kids.
right?
So,
And you see how that dynamic can be difficult.
mhm.
But I think that's why for us, what we talk about though is, you can do as much work as you can. You can do as best you can. I
Yeah.
can honestly say, like, there's been several cases
Yeah.
where I did everything I could. Us in the school did everything. I mean, we had probably, I don't know, $10,000 worth of resources in a month on one kid, right? Doing
Mhm.
everything we can. And all we wanted him to do is go to class,
Mhm.
do his schoolwork,
Or just go to class.
or just go to
Just
this
come to
kid, huh?
school.
You
Just
know
come
this
to
kid.
school.
Yeah, we just want him to go to class, and not when it was recess time. Instead of for recess time, he would just collapse and just make a big scene. All we wanted him to do is just go to class
Yeah.
and do some work. First grader, right? Thousands of dollars, tons of behavior intervention plans, tons of supports. You have social workers going in, psychologists, you have behaviorists, you have a behavior intervention specialist, you have a youth service specialist.
Mhm.
Parents wouldn't do their part. Guess
Yeah.
what happened to that kid?
Yeah.
Yeah. He got sent to a special day class,
Yeah.
right? He
Yeah.
still went to the worst possible scenario for a kid,
Mhm.
right? And I consider when I send a kid to a special day class, for the most part, it's a failure on my part. Like we failed that kid.
Yeah.
Sure, they're going to a better placement where maybe they're going to get some more quote unquote supports. But at the end of the day, if we would have got a hold of that parent, and if we
Yeah.
would have motivated that parent, we would have got better results.
Yeah. Mhm.
But that's what's hard.
Yeah.
Is it easy motivating parents?
Not at all. Not at all. But if they have your trust, then it's a lot easier for them to like understand or like try to understand where you're coming from.
How do you get trust from a parent?
But for me, it's about like just getting to know who they are outside of them being a parent too, and then grabbing their trust and like, who are you and what do you want with your kid? Like, what is it that you want? And what can I like? How do you think I'll help you, or how do you think I can help you, and what can I do?
Your starting point with a parent is listening to them and get to knowing them.
Yeah,
hearing them out.
We need to know like what is their most valuable need at the time. Because if we can just get that one thing that's really bothering them at the time, then that behavior honestly makes a big difference.
So the first thing you do is you get to know the parent. Like if you're going to start off and trying to get their trust, you first get to know them.
I want to know about them, not their struggles or not their, well, a little bit of their struggles, but like who are they and what do they like too? Because then it's like I can relate with them. Like, oh, I like to do that too.
Yeah.
Okay, like and then we really get to like paint a picture of how they are and get to know them.
You actually socialize to get to know
I
them.
socialize. Yeah.
That's
a good way to put it.
Yeah, you don't like pull out. This is how some people do their stuff. Hold on here. What's your strengths? What's your weakness?
Mm-hmm.
That's not how you get to know a parent. That's not how you.
No, I do more through conversation.
Oh, yeah. So you're like not a robot.
No.
You're a human being.
Mm-hmm.
And you just.
Because I'm in their home, if it's in the home. Yeah. If it's in the home, I'm in their home. Like, so.
And that's the best way to get to know somebody though, is to take away the formalities and open up the conversation.
Yeah. Just being real.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, this is why is we can never really get to the kid if we can't get that parent to be real.
Yeah.
And we can never get someone to be real. You will never get someone to be real unless you're real first.
Yeah.
And you need to be real as a clinician, which means you got to remove all your insecurities. You got to remove your fears. You got to remove those things that are those barriers that get in the way of you connecting to that individual. I don't even want to say parent, to that human being that's having a struggle and that's having a pain.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you do.
Yeah. I like to socialize. So
That's a starting point, huh?
yeah, it's a starting point for sure.
Then what? How else do you get a parent to trust you? Because why do we want them to trust us?
Because we're gonna be putting in some procedures and strategies for them that are probably not gonna be comfortable or for their household normal. So we want them to trust us and that what we're doing and putting in is actually gonna work. Or we need you to just try it. And if it doesn't work, we'll just try something different. But we're still
Yes.
there gonna try and do different things.
We're going to get them to try to change their own behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And those things we're asking them to change.
It's hard.
Oh my God.
It's hard.
And we're asking parents, like say, for example, we have a parent and some of these kids are so hard. They're so hard. They yell, they scream, they have so much energy. And what I mean by teach parents is like, if your kid punches you in the face, don't buy them a toy
Yeah.
the next day if they ask for it. Don't buy them a toy.
Yeah.
You make them earn it,
Mhm.
right? And how do you earn it? By not punching you in the face for a while,
Yeah.
right? And you can set an actual date, like, hey, if you don't punch me for a face for a whole week, then you can earn it. You get what I'm saying? We're getting parents to
Mhm.
change those types of hard behaviors. And that sounds easy.
I was just gonna say it sounds easy, from the outside hearing
Sounds
it like that. It
obvious.
sounds obvious, yeah, but it's really when you're in it, it's a lot harder to like do it.
When you have that kid screaming
Hmm.
in your ear,
It's almost natural to just take the easy way out instead of being aware of what's going on and how we can change it.
it's very much natural
Yeah.
to take the easy way out.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love taking the easy way out.
Yeah, for sure.
If you give me an opportunity to take that easy way out, I'm going to fly towards it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
But at the same time, when you take the easy way out, situation get better or worse,
yeah,
right? Always
they
gets
get
worse.
worse. Yeah.
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 So, my favorite way to get a parent to trust me.
Huh.
This is my favorite way. And this is how I teach it right here. Is you see, some parents don't like me. And I don't like me either sometimes because I'm
Me
rough.
too.
Yeah. Shut up. I'm a little mean. I'm a little rough.
Just kidding.
I'm very real. And I'm very aggressive. So sometimes people don't like me right off the bat, which is fine. I don't care.
Yeah, it's fine.
Because you know why? You know how I'm going to get them to love me anyways?
What?
I'm going to get their kid to love me.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to get their kid to love the heck out of me. Where when I walk into the room, the kid's like, Dr. Lisa! And I look at that parent like, yeah, I know you don't like me. I don't like you. But guess what? Your kid likes me.
Yeah.
And your kid listens to me. So you should listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen that be a high rate of results is, when I get that kid to like me and trust me and listen to me, that's when I feel like I really get the heaviest trust from a
Mhm.
parent.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's hard.
It's very hard.
How do you get a kid to trust you or like you?
I feel it goes back to like what do they like, what do they want too? Like how can we help especially if they don't know how to communicate or speak, like get on their level of communication, like finding out what is it that they need or what do they want and then pushing from there,
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And some of those basic things,
Mhm.
having fun with them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, having fun.
Sitting down with them.
Coloring, literally just
Come
sitting
on.
down.
The kids are so
Or letting them
easy.
tell you a story or letting them show you their toys. Those
Simple
little
stuff.
simple stuff. Yeah. Kids are easily pleased.
It's simple yet powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the stuff that people have a hard time to do.
Yeah.
Some people have a hard time sitting down on the floor with a kid
Oh, yeah.
and drawing.
Uh-huh.
Some people have a hard time playing
Yeah.
and being goofy with the
And
kid.
it's like we have phones, so it's hard now. Like to just
We have
want to
phones.
sit down. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like we have phones now. And like my mom always sat down with us and like played tea party or
Yeah.
like did stuff with us. And so for me, I always like had that. And now I'm like, I see myself and I'll even catch myself like on my phone when my nieces or
Mhm.
something want to play. And I'm
Mhm.
like, okay. Like I gotta do what they need to do.
It's very hard to shape that skill
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
to me, it's a skill.
And especially if you're not self-aware of it.
Exactly
You
that.
have to be self-aware that that's what you're doing.
But that's what people want.
Mm-hmm.
They want to trust you. But in order to trust you, they need you to hang out with them.
Yeah.
They need you to socialize with them.
Yeah.
They need it to not be, hi,
Relate to them.
my name's Dr. Rizzo, and I need to collect some information to get to know you.
Yeah.
Yeah, shut up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dang, 25 minutes
Yeah,
that
I
fast.
know.
That's
fast.
good, huh?
Yeah.
All right. No, we say all this, we bring all this up, and it's because, we realize how hard it is to be parents. I'm a parent. It is tough. She watches parents all day. She knows it's tough. But this is
Very
something that we plan on doing. Allie, you want to introduce it?
Sure.
You want to introduce it?
Okay.
What are we going to do?
We're going to do parent trainings.
Oh, so what we're going to do is we're going to offer a free parent training for everyone who is willing and wants to. This training is going to go over everything from A to Z, and it's going to be focused on identifying. I'll get to it in a second. Right. But this is the thing. In order for you to participate in this parent training, I need you to comment below. #parent. That's it. #parent. And we will get you involved in this parent training. We're going to do it every other week live at 5:30. So if you guys are interested, all you guys got to do is, again, comment #parent, and we're going to get that to you guys. Hey, but let's talk about what the parent training is going to cover.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Some good
So,
stuff.
hey, this is legitimate, empirically based curriculum. And we're not going to like read it and be like, hi, everyone, and just be like boring. We're going to go through it with discussions, lessons, examples, modeling, bring parents on to talk about how these lessons impacted their lives, and to even introduce the lessons. But say, for example, this is some things people need to know. What is a diagnosis?
Yeah.
Right? What's a disability? What is ADHD? Right?
Yeah.
What's
Not just the label.
yeah.
What does it actually mean?
What does it actually mean beyond the
Yeah,
label?
Beyond the label.
Right? What is autism beyond the label?
Mhm.
What's mental retardation or intellectual disability? It's the same word. What is that beyond the label?
Yeah.
Right? So we're going to get into the nitty gritty of all the different diagnoses, the major diagnoses. So that way, and or even this, what if it's not a diagnosis? What if it's structures? What if there's things that you can fix in the home that would boom?
Yeah.
Your kid's showing up these behaviors and you fix this in the home, and all of a sudden your kid's not.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what we're going to cover, in one of the first episodes. We're also going to cover
Some self-care for parents.
ooh,
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Do you know, so what the research has shown is that parents who have, 1 to 2 kids with disabilities, their stress levels are the same as somebody who's been at war.
No, I believe it.
The same as someone who's coming back from Iraq.
Yeah.
Just because the amount of
The
stress.
amount of stress.
Kids hitting,
Yeah.
punching, choking, screaming, crying
Yeah.
constantly, embarrassing you in the store.
Mhm.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my
I feel
God,
bad for some of the
no.
parents. Oh man, it's not easy.
I
It is
feel
not
bad.
easy. Self-care for parents.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about what is behavior. What causes behavior? Trust me, it's not he did it because I don't know why. It's some random reason. No.
There's always a reason.
There's always a reason. There's always things in the environment that could be causing that.
Mhm.
We're going to be covering the details of what behavior is. We're going to be covering what else?
What else are we covering?
I want her to sit. I'm gonna let her sit in this awkwardness. I like it.
How can we change? How can we change that behavior too?
Yes.
Not only
right?
just finding out the triggers, but also how can we change it?
Yeah. What are the exact strategies that we can do? And a lot of it is what we can do
Mhm.
as parents,
As-
as adults
as
in that
adults.
environment. Guess what that's called?
Mhm.
Modeling.
Or also we can change the environment, just the home life and certain routines that are put in place.
We're going to cover social skills,
Mhm.
right? The different areas of social skills we're going to teach. And I think one of the big ones that we're going to want to hear, and a lot of people, this is the cause of many behaviors, is how to communicate.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
Getting your kid to communicate,
Mhm.
whether it's verbal, nonverbal, whatever the situation is. What we're going to do is we're going to cover these lessons for each lesson, each section. So every other week, we're going to cover it for you guys. So that way, what we want is we're offering this free training because we feel the pain. We're in the homes. We
Yeah.
know how much it hurts to have a kid who's just struggling to meet their basic needs, struggling to talk, struggling to communicate to others, struggling to find friends, struggling to even keep themselves clean. Those are such hard situations, and we feel the pain of the parents.
Yeah.
What our goal is to create it's 26 different lessons and to review those each session that we do. So every other week, we're going to review these and discuss these and teach these skills so that by the end, you will know and you will have a strong confidence in dealing with your kid and dealing with the situation.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ali?
I think it's going to be good.
Yeah?
Mhm.
You like it?
I do.
Okay.
I think it's
If
going to be
there's
really good.
one advice you could leave our viewers with, what's it going to be? We're at 31 minutes.
Oh, one advice?
Uh-huh.
Oh, man. Just spend time with your kids. Just do little things. Go outside. Go for a walk. Like the simple things.
That's
Give
it.
them a lot of love.
That's it, everyone.
Hmm.
If we just spend time and do the simple things with our family, you will never need a psychologist like me. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Again, if you want that training, comment, #parent training. See you soon, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.